Most men believe effort guarantees loyalty. They think paying bills, sending good morning texts, or always being there will make her stay. But here's the truth. She isn't loyal to what you do. She's loyal to how she feels when she's with you. A man can give his all-time money, devotion, yet watch her grow distant. Why? Because her heart doesn't measure effort. Her compass is emotion. If the spark fades, so does she. Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." What matters isn't the checklist of what you do, but the energy and presence you bring. Take Mike, a hard-working man. From Ohio, for 2 years, he gave everything to his partner diners. Support, loyalty. One day she told him, "I don't feel it anymore." She didn't leave because Mike wasn't good. She left because the feeling was gone. Okay, you can shower her with effort, but if you lose the energy that makes her feel alive, none of it matters. Love is not earned like a paycheck, Seneca said. He who is brave is free. Freedom in love means not clinging, not begging for validation, but standing firm in your own worth. When you act from fear, she feels it. When you act from confidence, she feels that too, and that's what attracts her. The paradox is clear. The less you chase, the more magnetic you become. She's not testing how much you give. She's sensing who you are when you give. If your presence speaks louder than your actions, she will feel it. And that, not effort, is what keeps her drawn to you. Most men think their actions define attraction: flowers, compliments, polite gestures. But women sense something deeper. They feel your energy before they notice your moves. And if your vibe is off, no amount of effort will hold her. Epictetus said, "First, say to yourself what you would be. Then do what you have to do." Notice the order. Be first, then act. Modern men reverse it. They focus on doing without becoming. Women see through that instantly. Think of John, a man who tried everything, planned perfect dates, texted consistently, opened every door. On paper, he did it all right, but his nervous energy betrayed him. She felt the weight of his need, not the gift of his presence. And slowly, her desire faded. Presence isn't about talking more or doing more. It's about being grounded, calm, and certain, no matter who is watching. A man who carries quiet confidence doesn't need to prove anything. And paradoxically, that's what makes him unforgettable. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." When your actions align with your inner state, she feels safe, she feels drawn. Not because of what you do, but because of who you are. So stop memorizing lines. Stop overthinking every move. Slow down. Breathe. Let your presence speak louder than your words. Women, remember the calm in your energy, not the checklist of your actions. That's attraction at its core, primal, silent, undeniable. Neediness is the silent killer of attraction. It's not distance, not rudeness, neediness. That desperate energy that says, "I need her approval to feel whole." Women sense it instantly, and when they do, desire fades. Kevin, a successful man from Denver, learned this the hard way. At first, his relationship with Rachel was light and exciting. Soon he began texting constantly, seeking reassurance, overthinking her replies. She didn't break up in anger, she simply drifted away. It wasn't his words, but the weight of his need that pushed her out. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." Neediness is the opposite of bravery. It is fear disguised as love. Fear of being alone, fear of rejection, fear of silence. And no woman is drawn to fear. Masculine energy chooses. It does not beg. The moment your worth rests in her hands, respect is lost. A stoic man responds differently. When she pulls back, he does not panic. He does not chase. He stands firm, rooted in his own center. His strength comes not from controlling her, but from mastering himself. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. The paradox is clear. The less you need her, the more she feels drawn to you. When you stop chasing validation, you create space for real connection. Not because you've tried harder, but because you became unshakable. And that is the rare presence a woman will never forget. Love is not a deal. It isn't a trade of effort for loyalty. Many men fall into the trap of thinking, I gave her everything: time, gifts, loyalty, so she must stay. But that's not love. That's negotiation, Marcus Aurelius wrote. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Notice he didn't say to be loved, he said to love. Real love is a gift you choose to give, not a product you demand in return. Consider James, who supported his partner through school, paid the bills, and believed his sacrifices guaranteed her commitment. But when she left, he felt betrayed. The truth was painful. His love came with conditions, and conditions turn love into control. Epictetus reminded us, do not expect events to happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly. In relationships, this means letting go of guarantees. You give because it is your nature to give, not because you expect her to match it. A Stoic man doesn't collapse when love is not returned. He stays centered, understanding that her choice reflects her nature, not his failure, Seneca wrote. A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver. Your freedom lies in choosing to love without keeping score. Paradoxically, when you stop treating love as a bargain, you create the space for true connection. She feels safe, not manipulated. She feels free, not pressured. And that freedom, more than effort, is what makes love real. A woman doesn't stay because of what you do for her. She stays because of how she sees you. And that comes down to one thing: respect. Take Mike from Phoenix. At first, he lived his routine workouts, business, discipline. Tara respected him because he had his own life. But over time, Mike bent his standards, skipped his priorities, and even agreed to things he didn't believe in. Slowly, Tara lost interest. Not because he wasn't kind, but because he stopped being the man she admired. Respect is the soil. Where attraction grows, without it, nothing lasts. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Respect isn't about pleasing hurts, about living in alignment with your values, even when it costs you, Seneca said. He who has courage despises pain. He who has wisdom despises pleasure. Real respect is built when you stand your ground, when you're honest, when you say no where it matters, when you live with courage instead of fear. A woman may enjoy comfort for a while, but she craves the strength of a man who doesn't fold under pressure. She tests you not to destroy you, but to see if you're real. If you collapse to win her approval, she loses trust. But when you remain steady, she feels safe to lean in. Respect isn't loud. It shows in the way she looks at you, the way she speaks of you when you're not around. Once it's gone, you can't buy it back. But when it's there, attraction deepens. She doesn't stay because you need her. She stays because she respects the man who chooses her without losing himself. Most men think being agreeable makes them more attractive. But too much agreement makes you forgettable. A woman doesn't chase comfort, she chases conviction. Conviction is shown through standards. Standards are boundaries, a reveal. What you value and what you refuse to compromise, Seneca said. If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. When a man lacks standards, he drifts. But when he knows who he is, he stops chasing what doesn't matter, and that makes him magnetic. Think of David, who once allowed every demand from his partner to slide. He thought he was showing love, but the more he bent, the less she respected him. One day she admitted, "You're too easy, can't feel you anymore." His willingness to drop boundaries made her lose interest. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That strength shows when you calmly enforce your values without anger, without begging. Quiet authority commands respect in a way force never will. When you stand firm, she notices. She leans in, curious why you don't fold like the rest. Standards don't push her away, they pull her closer. Because women don't admire the man who gives everything up to keep them. They admire the man who will not lose himself to keep anyone. Epictetus said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." If you know your worth, You no longer fear losing her. And that clarity is what inspires her pursuit. Not because you play games, but because your presence becomes the prize. A woman isn't drawn to the man who always pleases her. She is drawn to the man who leads himself. Pleasers are predictable. Leaders create the spark. Tom, a dependable man from Dallas, thought constant compliments and letting Claire decide everything would win her heart. Instead, she slowly drifted away. Soon, she told him, "You're amazing, but I don't feel that spark." Why? Because leadership was missing. She found that energy in another man who had direction and conviction. Feminine energy doesn't crave passivity, it craves polarity. A woman doesn't want to carry the weight of decision-making. She wants a man with vision, someone who knows what he stands for. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing. What a good man should be. Be one." Leadership is not control. It is clarity, direction, and emotional steadiness. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." Leadership begins within. If you can't guide yourself, you can't inspire her to trust you. A man anchored in his own values makes decisions calmly, without needing approval. And in that stillness, she feels safe to let go. Think of the difference, the pleaser says. "Whatever you want," the leader says. "I'll pick you up at 7. One gives away his frame, the other offers direction. And direction creates emotional safety. Seneca reminded us, if a man knows not which harbor he seeks, no wind is favorable. When you don't lead, you drift. But when you lead yourself, she feels your strength without you having to prove it. Pleasers fade into the background. Leaders remain unforgettable. Because women don't chase comfort, they chase the rare man who knows where he is going and invites her to join him. Society tells men, just make her feel safe. But safety alone doesn't keep her desire alive. A woman craves strength more than comfort. Without strength, safety feels weak. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Strength isn't about perfection or coldness. It is about presence, the ability to stay calm in chaos, focused when things shake, and steady when emotions rise. Think of Daniel, who tried to be the safest man his girlfriend ever met. He avoided conflict, agreed to everything, and softened his edge. She didn't feel passion. She felt boredom. Soon she left for someone whose presence carried quiet power. Not because he was reckless, but because he had backbone. Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Strength shows in how you handle struggle, not in avoiding it. A man who can say no, calmly, hold eye contact, and remain grounded, reveals more attraction than endless reassurances ever could. Epictetus reminded us, no man is free who is not master of himself. Safety without strength makes her feel she must lead. But when you embody strength, she naturally relaxes into her feminine. She feels both safe and alive. The truth is simple. Strength is not about dominance. It is about stability. A man whole in himself who doesn't need her validation radiates the power she cannot resist. Comfort alone fades. Strength creates the spark that endures. Most men think holding tighter keeps her close. In reality, the more you cling, the faster she slips away. Letting go doesn't mean not caring. It means valuing yourself enough to release fear. Mark from Arizona learned this truth. First, his relationship with Olivia was exciting. But when she started pulling back, he panicked, sending flowers, long texts, trying to fix what wasn't broken. The harder he clung, the further she drifted. What he lacked wasn't love, it was composure. Epictetus said, "He who is not happy with little will not be happy with much." If your peace depends on her constant presence, it isn't love, it's attachment. True power comes from being whole with or without her. Seneca reminded us, the greatest blessings of mankind are within us and within our reach. Letting go is that blessing. It creates space for her to feel your absence and remember your presence. Desire grows in distance, not in suffocation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind and not outside events. When you master this, you stop chasing. You stop double texting, over-explaining, or begging for reassurance. You lean back instead of forward, and that stillness makes her curious again. The paradox is simple. When you stop gripping, she starts reaching, not out of obligation, but because she feels your strength. Letting go is not losing her, it's giving her the freedom to choose you again, this time with real desire. A woman isn't loyal to your effort, your gifts, or your sacrifices. She is loyal to how she feels when she's with you. That is the truth most men refuse to accept. You can give her time, money, and devotion, yet lose her if she no longer feels alive in your presence. Traction is emotional, not logical. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." She doesn't remember the checklist of your actions. She remembers the energy you brought into her life. Consider Michael, a man who seemed perfect on paper, successful, consistent, generous, yet his partner drifted away. Why? Because his presence felt heavy, anxious, and reactive. He did everything right outwardly, but inwardly he lost his calm, and that was what she felt most. Epictetus reminded us, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Women sense that reaction instantly. Grounded or needy, calm or defensive, strong or uncertain. Their vibe leaves a lasting imprint long after words are forgotten. Seneca said, "A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver." The same applies to love. She may forget the flowers, but she will never forget how your presence made her feel safe, inspired, or alive. Paradox is clear. She may forget what you said, she may forget what you did, but she will never forget how you made her feel. That emotional imprint is what keeps her loyal, not your effort, but your essence.